vessel will become operational, and it will be on duty as from tonight.
So in practical terms, what will Customs be able to do now that they weren't previously?
Well, there isn't anything with the role itself that changes. That continues to be the same thing. What it does provide is our officers a lot more safety out at sea. The equipment inside is not only protecting them from an impact, which we have had in the recent past with other vessels, but the facility of the type of seats that they have are all state-of-the-art. They do protect officers' backs when they are traveling at high speeds and in turbulent waters. So generally speaking, it affords comfort to our officers, but at the same time, even though it is a much larger vessel than what we've had, it still has the operational capabilities that the smaller ones have. The fact that the engines are on the outside makes the vessel a lot faster, and indeed gives it enhanced maneuverability when it's out at sea.
The Chief Minister mentioned that this is showing that we can secure our borders as well as any EU member state. Is it in part a show of strength?
Nothing changes as far as we are concerned. We will continue to patrol our entry points, whether those are by land, by sea, or by air.
And finally, a lot is said about cross-border cooperation in these situations. The Guardia Civil delegation that was due to be here today has not arrived. Has a reason been given for it?
There have been prior engagements, and unfortunately they've had to cancel on our invitation.
The latest multi-million-pound haul of cannabis resin comes after police were alerted by the crew of a local fishing boat that there were bales floating in the water off the east side of the rock. The RGP's marine section began to collect the bales scattered over a large area, recovering 40, with Customs joining in the search to recover a further 2. The final haul weighed over 1.2 tonnes, with an approximate street value of £6.3 million. A statement by the RGP says it's understood that the Guardia Civil recovered a further 12 bales off La Aduana beach in La Linea. Over 4.4 tonnes of cannabis resin has been seized within British Gibraltar Territorial Waters by local law enforcement agencies so far this year. That's during under 2.5 months. The total seized is estimated to have a street value of over £22 million.
The vessel was not too far away from the limits of British Gibraltar Territorial Waters, but heading southwesterly direction, so back towards Algeciras or Tarifa, if you like, if you picture yourself at the opposite of Eastern Beach. We engaged in the chase. They started carrying out evasive manoeuvres, trying to hold us off. Remember, this is in the hours of darkness still, so visibility is an issue, but the RGP crew managed to stay on their tails. But they started jettisoning bales of cannabis, of drugs. The effect that had was lightening the load significantly on their vessel, which in turn gave them the advantage, and they made good escape, but not before we managed to recover 28 bales in total.
We heard that the smugglers had a very powerful launch. Is this unusual?
Not any longer. We've started seeing 14-metre ribs or thereabouts in the last couple of years, I believe. They're getting bigger and larger vessels, more powerful vessels, and it's not unusual to see that size of vessel, which is larger than even ours.
How well resourced would you say the RGP is?
Well, it's all a game of one-upmanship. If the other side gets a bigger, faster vessel, we need to have something along those lines to counteract. We've got 1 or 2 vessels that can do the job, but of course one can only ask and wish for even better resources.
Did you find yourselves on your own?
No, not at all. We contacted Customs and GDP, who came out and assisted us and recovered bales themselves straight away, and we also had contact with the Guardia Civil over the telephone, and this is a regular occurrence. We do at that grassroots level. There's very good contact, and we work together. Flow of communication, information, etc.
We've heard of lawlessness in La Linea over the past few weeks. There have been a couple of incidents that have highlighted this. How do you see the situation? How has it increased? Is the smuggling worse?
It's obviously concerning to hear the news of what's happened in two particular occasions or three specific instances in La Linea. It's quite concerning. The volume of drug trafficking out in the Straits hasn't increased significantly from what we are used to, but that is not to say that it's welcome at all. We want to deny use of our waters to smugglers entirely and assist in anything to do with international cooperation in that respect. That's what we're here for. Yes, there's plenty of traffic. It's not particularly more or less than before, but to hear the things that have happened in the neighbouring towns is of concern, of course. We're not prepared to put up with that.
What does a haul like this do to the RGP? Perhaps to morale, or do you feel that you've actually dented smuggling?
Absolutely. At the end of the day, this is all a financial exercise. It's money to the smugglers, it's money that's been denied, it's drugs off the street. Drugs bring a lot of misery to people, so that's off the streets now, and it's financial. They do it for money, they don't do it for any other reason other than a business venture, if you like. So this is a dent in someone's pocket. It's a big dent.